This is Made for More Living with Johnny Jennings, powered by eXp Realty. Online at madeformoreliving.com.
New year, new president, and everybody is wondering, hey, is he going to impact real estate? Are prices going to come down? Is interest rates going to come down?
Well, Donald Trump, President Trump, was in real estate. He still is. He owns many properties.
Sure.
That's how he built his wealth. So obviously you would think, all right, he's one of us. He's going to do what's best for real estate. When he was elected president back in November.
I'm a Trump fan, but I do not think he's one of us when I think Donald Trump. I do not think that, but please continue.
Well, he's pro-business, wouldn't you agree?
He is pro-business,
All
yeah.
right, and real estate, realtors are pro-business, right?
Yep.
So when he was elected president in November, you did see an impact in the stock market. It jumped pretty high.
There was a Trump bump for sure. Yeah.
There you go. And so I don't know how that affects interest rates, but obviously you have a conservative president who is in favor of business and the economy improving. That's one of the reasons why he was elected, is people were frustrated with the economy, with inflation, with how things are going. Real estate hasn't been thriving in recent months, and people say, well, it's because of the decisions the Biden administration has made, and it's affected the economy and jobs and interest rates. And obviously interest rates have been through the roof because of all of those decisions during COVID.
Yeah.
And so now you've got a new guy, fresh perspective. I mean, oh my gosh, as soon as he was sworn in, he's already at work making executive decisions. So is a business-friendly leader, president, going to have a positive effect on real estate? You think what?
I think in the long term he will, but a lot of people are wanting things like he's working very, very quickly. Like he was working before he was even president to get things done.
Sure, absolutely.
Right? And so I don't think he's letting moss grow under his feet, but there's only he heads up the executive branch. He's the commander in chief. He's not the president of real estate, right? So there's going to be a limited amount of things that he can do. And most people forget the main reason why we're in this mess is because of government spending. Government pumps trillions of dollars into the economy, and that drove inflation up. And so now the countries that have inflationary problems, it's a huge deal. This is like what happened in Carter in the 70s. Like this sunk Carter. This is inflation is something that needs to be addressed. The problem is, so again, let's go back a little bit. When they started raising interest rates, they thought two things were going to happen. One, they thought unemployment would go up, which it didn't. We don't know because the numbers keep coming out and they're saying, hey, employment's getting better. And then they come out with a number 30, 60, 120 days later, and it's like, oh, we were wrong. It was really bad. Here's the new right number. And then that number is wrong. So it's hard to trust the unemployment numbers. But when they started raising interest rates, they did it to increase unemployment, to help curb inflation. And they also did it because they thought it would bring prices down. But prices have remained stubbornly high, and inflation has remained stubbornly high. So until inflation comes down, his hands are tied. So how can he bring inflation down? There are things that he might be able to influence, but this isn't like an overnight in the next 30, 60, 90 days situation.
I know, but there's some folks who think that's possible. So my question is, if you could call him up right now on your cell phone, what kind of actions would you like him to make that would positively impact real estate?
So when I look at it, I think what we're looking at in terms of the real estate market, it's something that has been disfigured by government overreach, by people trying to make it better, trying to impose rent control, trying to lower interest rates during COVID to make housing more affordable, now trying to raise interest rates because now we have this problem. Well, my suggestion would be hey, let's deregulate some activities. Let's make it less expensive for people to build. Let's make it less expensive for people to operate their businesses, and let's let the economy recover. Let it heal. It feels like it's just been pumped full of drugs. Let's stop pumping everything full of drugs, and let's just drink some water, take a nap, and let's recover naturally.
I like that. I like that perspective.
That's where I land on it.
Well, it seems like from what we've heard from Governor Gavin Newsom that he's in favor of that, because of the fires. He's saying he's going to make things easier as far as rebuilding and reconstruction down in Southern California, get rid of that red tape and the environmental restrictions so that the building process can be quicker. There's been some critics, though, that say he's got this special plan for all of that new reconstruction. It's going to be multi-unit properties. Have you heard about that?
So here's the thing: when politicians are talking, I really don't listen, right? Because
right.
I don't care what you say, I care what you do.
Good point.
And he's been trying to end homelessness. Millions and millions, hundreds of millions of dollars have been pumped into this, fixing the unhoused situation. No effect. And why all of a sudden now is a good time to cut this red tape? Why? Honestly, I think he's just trying to save his political future. Like this fire, if it doesn't sink him, I'm really embarrassed about Californians.
Yeah.
Like, this should end his political career. If homelessness didn't, if the other fires didn't, if the budget didn't, thousands of homes burning because there wasn't water in fire hydrants. Like that.
Well, he's saying he's putting the blame on the mayor. He's saying this isn't a state issue. This is a city issue. They're the ones that dropped the ball.
Okay, well then where's the water coming from?
Right.
They're like, why are there not dams? Why are there not more? Why are we worried about saving the Delta smelt rather than saving people's lives? And so now you're going to cut some red tape and say then you're going to make it easier to build. Okay, I'll believe it when I see it, and then let's see what's really. Well, I'm just going to wait. I'm going to wait and see what actually happens because politicians, not only Gavin, politicians tend to promise. And then it never comes to fruition. They just want to get reelected. And then here's the other thing that really pisses me off about politicians, since we're talking about this, is what will happen. And they play this game time and time again. What they will do is they will say, hey, you know what? We don't have the money for this. We don't have the money to help rebuild the infrastructure. We don't have money for this. And so what we need to do is we need to pass a bond. We need to raise taxes. And the proceeds of this is going to go to this other project. The only reason why, we're already taxed enough. There's enough money coming in. There's enough revenue coming in. The money's going to your pet projects, right? That nobody's talking about. And now you're saying, hey, we have to do this for the firefighters. We have to do this for the cops. We have to do this for the kids. But really, you just pushed all the other funds into this other pet project. And now you're trying to get us for more money. Let's figure out with the resources we have. Let's try and if it was your house, Matt,
sure.
If it was my household, people would have to tighten their belts,
right.
Stop spending on the things that aren't necessary and focus on the things that are. They don't need more money; they need to do better with what they have.
Right, I agree, and they have to be held accountable. And voters don't keep our politicians accountable, and the press certainly doesn't, and that's a challenge. They have this; they're not accountable to anybody. And so they just feel like they have this power and this freedom to do whatever because who's going to check them on it?
Yeah.
We're certainly not doing it.
I know. So my heart goes out to those people that are in LA and that are affected by the fires, people that up here that are affected by the fires. But you know
sure.
What my heart also goes out to is the people whose houses are standing that have not been in a fire, experienced a fire, but their insurance has gone up 2, 3, 4, 10x from what it was when they first bought the house. Like the whole idea behind buying a home is that your payment does not change, right?
Right.
Like it's a fixed principal and interest payment, and
sure.
and insurance. Sure, you got to pay for insurance, but now insurance has gone from an afterthought to the primary reason why people are either buying or selling houses.
Right.
Like we have a client right now. It went all the way up to $12,000 a year. $1,000 a month just for insurance on their property. They've lived there a long time, like over a decade, and now all of a sudden, their house has been negatively impacted. The value of their home, like if people are buying on a payment, that's $1,000 a month just for that. To get their premium down to a more manageable $9,000 a month, they now have a $25,000 deductible. This is a problem that's been caused by the politicians, and this is a problem that's not going away, and it's only getting worse. And then the maps are getting rewritten, like in terms of what's considered a fire zone. Los Lagos is a fire zone. Orangevale is a fire zone. Sections of places like urban areas are now fire zones, and it's like, why? This isn't. So when we talk about in terms of making affordability, like homes more affordable, helping people buy homes, you need to bring the cost down. You need to bring the red tape down, and you need to allow companies like insurance companies to charge in a way that they're able to make a profit, because what's happening is these insurance companies are now leaving, and now it's the state of California that's left holding the California Fair Plan. That it's a very unfair, it's a great name, but it's a very unfair plan. And because the only option is the state of California, these premiums just keep going up. So anyways, enough about that.
No, I know. So what's the positive outlook then? What can folks find hope in when it comes to real estate in 2025?
So the positive outlook is that if you are buying real estate for the long term and you're buying it at a price point that you can afford, the value of that real estate is going to go up with time. And so if you are considering purchasing a home, yes, it's gonna be a good investment, but you got to make sure that you're buying it under the right conditions and in a way that's affordable to you. And so what we do is we like to prepare people, not what if, even if. Even if interest rates stay in the 7s, you're able to afford your payment. We right now have a special product with the JJ Mack team where we are actually able, like interest rates are right around 7%, let's just say at the time of this recording, we could get you an interest rate in the 4s. We can get you an interest rate in the 5s really easily. Okay, it's not permanent, but we can get you this rate, so that way you're able to have that lower monthly payment. You're still qualifying for the 7%. Like, we're not getting people into bad loans.
Right.
We're just saving them money for the first 1, 2, 3 years before they would then feel the full experience of paying a 7% interest rate. And the hope is in the next 1, 2, 3 years under the Trump administration, interest rates will come down as inflation gets corrected.
Sure. Love that.
So there's
good info.
So there's
good passion.
There's options out there. There's options out there. It's just when people are looking at, hey, I hope Trump fixes it, or I hope Gavin fixes it, or I hope when they look to the politicians aren't going to solve your problem. It's the local people that are going to solve your problem, and the local people have accurate information. And so if you're considering buying or selling a house, Google search somebody, figure out who's doing a lot of great business. Don't go with your cousin who sells a house every 6 months or has never sold a house. You want to give them a shot? Do you really want to give them a shot with what may be your biggest purchase?
Sure.
So the good news is there's great deals to be found. We have people out there who we actually have a program where we find homes that are like these sellers are motivated. It's a special algorithm, and the sellers are motivated. So if you want to learn more about our motivated seller program, reach out to us. We have properties. We have over 80 homes right now that are off the market. You cannot find them on Zillow. You cannot find them on Realtor.com. You cannot find them on the internet. These sellers have opted for discretion. And so sometimes that means you can get a great deal because you're not competing with the rest of the population. So if you're looking for things like that, if you're in the market, there is good news out there. I just wouldn't be expecting somebody else to solve your problem.
Love that. Good stuff.
So anyways, if you'd like to learn more about our motivated seller list or our off-market property list or our way to get you an interest rate in the 4s, just go to madeformorerealty.com. That's madeformorerealty.com.
If you knew a company had almost 1,000 5-star Google reviews, if you knew that they were voted number 1 in the area 3 years in a row, you would conclude that these guys know what they're doing, right? Well, that's who Johnny Jennings is with his team at Made for More Realty. They sell homes faster, on average, than everyone else in the area, and for higher selling prices. For instance, they've helped many couples who wanted to retire and move out of state, be closer to the grandkids, and they were able to sell those homes in record amount of time and for a record price for that neighborhood. It's the entire team at Made for More Realty, along with Johnny Jennings and his wife, Valerie, making sure you get the best service possible, that you're taken care of, and you don't have to worry about a thing when it comes to selling your home. In fact, they guarantee at least 3 cash offers on your home in as-is condition. So if you want more for your home, just Google Johnny Jennings and Made for More Realty and get more for your home.